Hello, I want to show you the world in a new way, not with feelings, but with facts. Sometimes the numbers tell a story that is more hopeful than you think. We often hear big, scary stories about our world. We hear about problems that seem too big to solve. But I have spent my life looking at the data. The data shows something amazing. We are making progress. Slow progress, yes, but real progress. It is happening all around us, quietly. This is one of those stories. A story about people and building a better future together. Let's talk about population. For many years, the story was growth. More people, more workers, more everything. That growth was seen as success. But what if we're looking at the wrong number? What if it's not how many people we have, but how well each person is living? A big shift in thinking, moving from quantity to quality, celebrating a world where every person can live long, healthy, happy lives. This is not a dream. The data shows it is possible. The world is changing. Families are getting smaller, not due to rules, because people are healthier and richer. Children survive and get schooling. Families choose to have fewer kids, so parents invest more in each child. This is a sign of human progress, a natural shift as societies develop. We should not fear this change. We should understand it. We should see the opportunity. This is the new story the data tells. Let us look at the facts together. Put our fears aside for a moment. Be calm and curious. What does a stable or slightly smaller population look like? Empty streets and decline, or a world where we can finally solve some old problems? Poverty, hunger, pollution. I believe the data points to the second. A brighter future is already taking shape. We just need to know where to look. Now let us look at the world as it is today, on this day, September 26, 2025. It is easy for those of us living in wealthy countries to forget the reality for most people on this planet. The data is very clear about this. Right now, hundreds of millions of people do not have enough food to eat every day. Their children go to bed hungry. This is not a problem of the past. It is happening right now. The World Food Program works tirelessly, but the scale of the problem is immense. We produce enough food to feed everyone, but the system to get it to them is strained by the sheer number of people in need and the logistics required. Think about clean water. For many of us, it is as simple as turning on a tap. But for billions of people, it is a daily struggle. They must walk for miles to fetch water that is often dirty and can make their children sick. The World Health Organization shows us the numbers. Millions die every year from diseases caused by unsafe water and poor sanitation. This is a silent tragedy. It does not make the headlines every day, but it is a constant, grinding reality for a huge part of the human family. When a population is so large, the infrastructure needed to provide clean water to every single person is a monumental task. Let's talk about basic rights and a safe place to live. Think of the vast, sprawling slums that surround so many of the world's mega cities. Dharavi in Mumbai, Kibera in Nairobi. Millions of people are crowded into tiny spaces without proper sanitation, without electricity, without security. They are hardworking people, full of dreams, but their environment makes a dignified life almost impossible. Governments are overwhelmed. They cannot build schools, clinics, roads fast enough to keep up with the number of people. This is the reality of extreme population density combined with poverty. It is a daily crisis for a huge portion of humanity. This is not a story of failure. It is a story of a challenge. The challenge of providing a good life for 8 billion people. We have made incredible progress. More people are out of extreme poverty than ever before. But we must be honest about the size of the task that remains. Acknowledging this struggle is the first step. It is not about blame. It is about understanding the facts. The fact is, our planet's resources and our government's capacities are stretched. And this strain makes it incredibly difficult to ensure that every person gets the food, water, dignity they deserve. This is the problem we need to solve. Now, let's look outside our homes and cities. Let's look at our beautiful planet, nature, the environment. For decades, we have been taking more from the earth than it can give back. We cut down forests for wood. We cut down forests to make space for farms. We pull more fish from the ocean. We burn fossil fuels that change our climate. A very big reason for this pressure is the sheer number of us. More people need more food. More people need more energy. More people need more houses. More people need more everything. This puts a tremendous strain on our planet's ecosystems. It is a direct relationship we can see in the data. Imagine a future with a smaller, stable population. The demand for new land would decrease. We would no longer need to clear vast areas of rainforest to grow more crops. Instead, we could let those forests grow back. These forests are the lungs of our planet. They absorb carbon dioxide. They produce the oxygen we breathe. They are home to millions of plant species. They are home to millions of animal species. By giving nature more space, we help restore the balance of our world's climate. We protect incredible biodiversity for future generations. This benefit extends to our oceans and rivers. With fewer people, there is less demand for fish. Overfished populations get a chance to recover. There is also less pollution, less plastic waste flowing into the sea, less agricultural runoff poisoning waterways. Our rivers could run clean again, our oceans could begin to heal. This helps fish and coral reefs, and us. We depend on healthy oceans for food, for weather regulation, and for simple joy and wonder. And what about our air? Most air pollution comes from burning fuel for energy, from industry, from transport. A smaller population able to invest in clean tech means less overall energy consumption, cleaner air in our cities, and fewer greenhouse gas emissions. The fight against climate change becomes easier. We must still transition to renewable energy, but reducing overall demand is a powerful, essential part of the puzzle. Fewer people means it's easier to build a sustainable world for everyone. Let's bring it back to our daily lives. Think about the city you live in. Think about the traffic. The endless lines of cars, all just sitting still, pumping fumes into the air. This is a direct result of too many people trying to move in the same space. Now imagine that city with 10–20% fewer cars. Traffic flows much more smoothly. Your commute is shorter and more pleasant. The air is cleaner, a simple benefit of lower population density. Think about housing. In many desirable cities, home prices are incredibly high. Young people can't afford to buy. Families live in small, cramped apartments. It's supply and demand. Too many people, too few homes. With a stable or smaller population, pressure eases. Prices become more reasonable. People can afford more space, maybe a small garden. That improves mental health, reduces stress, and gives children a better environment to grow up in. More room to breathe applies to public spaces. Parks, beaches, national parks. Often these places are so crowded it's hard to enjoy them. You fight for a small patch of sand, or wait in a long line on a trail. Fewer people means spaces can be enjoyed as meant to be. More peace and quiet. Less wear and tear on nature. Even simple things like waiting in line get better. Less time at the grocery store. Less time at the bank. Less time at the post office. Shorter queues for the bus. Shorter queues for the train. These small frustrations add up. They create constant low-level stress. A less crowded world is more efficient and less stressful. It gives us back our most precious resource, time. Time with family, time for hobbies, time to relax. A real, tangible boost to daily happiness. This is not just a theory. We can actually see examples of this happening in the real world. Look at a country like Japan. For years, people have worried about its shrinking and aging population. But let's look at what is actually happening. Tokyo is often ranked as one of the best, most livable large cities in the world. It is incredibly safe. It is clean. Its public transportation system is a miracle of efficiency. Because the population is not exploding, the government has been able to invest heavily in infrastructure and public services, perfecting them over time. The quality of life is extremely high. Or consider many cities in Germany. Germany has had a low birth rate for a long time. Some of its industrial cities in the Ruhr area, which were once crowded and polluted, have used this change as an opportunity. They have transformed old industrial sites into parks. They have transformed old industrial sites into cultural centers. They have focused on quality of life. They have focused on sustainability. They have focused on green technology. They are not chasing endless growth. They are creating stable, pleasant, and highly innovative communities. Quality over quantity. We can even look at smaller scale examples. Think of a school district that was once rapidly growing. The schools were full of temporary, portable classrooms. Class sizes were huge. Then the number of children in the area stabilized. The district could finally get rid of the temporary buildings. They could use the money to renovate the main school building. They could build a new science lab. They could hire more art and music teachers. The quality of education for every single student improved dramatically. These examples show us that the scary stories about population decline are often just that, stories. The reality can be much more positive. It requires a shift in mindset. It requires planning and investment. But it shows that a future with a stable or smaller population is not something to fear. It is an opportunity to build societies that are more equitable, more sustainable, and more pleasant to live in. For a long time, we have measured the success of a country by its size. A big population, a big army, a big gross domestic product, or GDP. These big numbers are impressive. They make for good headlines. But do they really tell the whole story? Does a large GDP mean that the average person is happy and healthy? Not always. The money could be concentrated in the hands of just a very few. Does a large population mean a strong country? Not if millions of those people are living in poverty, without education or healthcare. We have been measuring the wrong thing. The true measure of a nation's success is not its size. It is the quality of life of its people. Can a child born today expect to live a long and healthy life? Will she get a good education? Will she have clean air to breathe? Will she have clean water to drink? Will she feel safe in her community? Will she have the opportunity to pursue her dreams? These are the questions that really matter. This is what we should be measuring. This is the Human Development Index. This is the goal we should be aiming for. A world where the answer to all these questions is yes, for every single person. A smaller population makes achieving this goal so much easier. It's not about stopping families or telling people what to do. It's about celebrating a change that is already happening naturally. As people escape poverty and get education, they choose to have smaller families. This is a sign of success. We should see it as a victory. It creates a positive cycle. Smaller families can invest more in each child. Those children grow up to be healthier and better educated, and they, in turn, create a more prosperous society for everyone. This is the engine of real, sustainable progress. So, let us change the way we talk about the future. Let us stop being afraid of a world with fewer people. Let us start celebrating the idea of a world where every person counts. A world where our goal is not to be the biggest, but to be the best. The best at taking care of our old and our young. The best at protecting our natural environment. The best at creating societies where everyone has a chance to thrive. In the end, this is a very simple and hopeful idea. It is about love. It is about valuing every single human life. When a baby is born anywhere in the world, we should want that baby to have the best possible chance. A chance for a life free from hunger, a chance free from disease, a chance to learn, a chance to grow, a chance to be happy. This is our shared human dream.